Oh, welcome back, my gardening friends, to plot 3. I've been here now, 14 years. I can't remember. But these are some of the first builds that I did when I was here before I started YouTubing. So I'll leave the video for my first ever video in the on the end screens. Let's go and have a look around and see what I've been up to, or what I haven't been up to. So the fruit cage, during a recent snow episode, caved a bit of the roof in. Mustn't grumble too much how long it's been here. And I have spent a little bit of time in here pruning some of my fruit bushes back. I've got loads in the freezer still. So this year will be a heavy prune. But everything that's in here is something that the birds will take. Red currants, white currants, black currants. Blackbirds love gooseberries. If they find your gooseberry bush, they will strip it in a day. You'll think that it'll be humans that took it, but don't be fooled. It's like rats. Once they find something, it'll be gone. So well worth. I spent £100 on woodwork and then probably £100 on netting over the years. But I harvested in 2024 nearly 73 kilos of fruit and punnets of raspberries at £2 a shot. One year I estimated I harvested £2,000 worth of raspberries. So well worth the effort on a fruit cage, whether you have to buy it or make your own. I'm going to be doing a harvest today, so we'll grab a few more Jerusalem artichokes. Not the ones that are on the surface, but there's plenty there, far too many. Made the mistake of just leaving in the ground what I didn't harvest. That didn't work. So this is my asparagus bed. They'll be poking their heads up in spring and we'll be harvesting for about 6 weeks. I topped up the underground worm farms, and what I believe may be rats have actually tried to get into the underground worm farms unsuccessfully, because everything's still there. They always make a mess when they try. So if it's rats, they don't mind the sheep's wool, but I've been using sheep's wool to stop the rats. We will see. We will see. And these are all the ferns off the asparagus, left on top of one of the beds so the birds can eat them, poop them out. And I've got asparagus growing everywhere in the footpaths. My temporary pallet collar compost bins are now overflowing. Any material in there that was put in late will go into the large wormery on plot 1 in a previous tour. But it's surprising how much material you can get, or you don't have to just come off the allotment. You can, put manure in. You can put brewers spent hops, etc. from the breweries. Anything you can find that's organic, and keep topping them up. And of course we've got the blended eggshells, tea leaves, coffee, and anything else that I've got to hand. But well worth doing. All this extra material does help in the compost mixes and topping the beds up, because the beds do sink, as we previously said. We keep taking, we have to give back to the soil, and all the juices aren't wasted because they drop down and soak into the bed below. I've got some of the metal frames there to create something that won't fall down when I grow my long beans, or any beans. And I've started taking down all the structures that I've used previously to keep the pests out. half the time it keeps the pests in and causes even more of a problem. So I'm going to let nature sort out anything that comes onto my allotments to cause me issues, because you trap a butterfly inside that's been living underground in its little whatever you call it before they emerge, they'll have a field day. Same with the carrot root fly. I've always learnt from my mistakes. I don't learn from all my mistakes. I should have left this barrow leaning uphill. Lesson learned again. All that water. Could have done with that in the summer of last year, 2025. This is where I do all my sifting. As you can see, it's become a dumping ground. Most of the beds are covered, other than my walking onions, which are looking sad at the moment. But as nature will find a way, and they'll be back up in spring. These are the wood chips I've collected out the path. Wood chips are about 3 to 4 years old in there, out of the paths that I haven't harvested for a while. And they'll go in my compost mixes with spent potato compost or anything that I've grown in containers. About 1200 litres here of compost with the added perlite that the unscrupulous cannabis growers fly tip, and the same with the cocoa coir. This will get absolutely battered once I get in a sifting mood to top the beds up. The green manure, which is winter tares and white clover, has died back, as you can see it there at the front of the bed, and then the weeds have took over, so I should have got this covered in good time. Now I've got to weed it, but weeds mean compost. But it's time that I could have saved by topping this bed up straight away and perhaps covering it with cardboard like this bed here. The Apuria is doing better. Walking onions on the far side. This bed was quite deep, so I've topped it up with sheep's wool. As you can see there, it's had manure 24-25, it had field beans 23-24 as a green manure, and it's got sheep's wool this year. This will be topped off with compost, and this is where I'll grow my beans. If any of my viewers watching my videos last year, you would have seen what a wonderful crop of pongo beans I had out of a bed that I did similar. Now I forgot to put these potatoes away in the clamp with the sheep's wool. As you can see the holes there, looks like our friends have been taking them. These were the ones that I planted in 2024, didn't harvest in 24, left them to regrow in 25 and still haven't harvested them. And this 4 containers still there. So this is the shallot bed for the year. I've got 3 shallots at the front there that were in the vegetable rack at home, and then the rest are the golden gourmet shallots from my saved shallots seed, etc. Not seed, but the actual shallots themselves. So I should have plenty there this time to do some pickling. I didn't do any pickling this time because I needed them all to plant to reboot my stocks. So on the left bed, where you can see the weeds growing, is the white clover on its own. But at the far side there, that's where we did the green manure, field beans, winter tares and the white clover. Much better to mix all 3 together. But I don't think I'll buy white clover again. It's more for a spring crop over the summer, but as most gardeners know, excuse me, we don't always sacrifice our beds to let them rest, which is what we should do really. After all the issues last year with white fly, green fly, everything, they're going to still be about, it doesn't matter, but I'm going to harvest a few of these and try on my Sunday dinner. I must check to make sure there's no creatures in there, because last time I didn't check we ended up with caterpillars and slugs in the top tray of the steamer. Mrs. K was not impressed. No change in the polytunnel. All nicely mulched. No weeding to do. Win-win. And that wall will stay there, and I'll open the wool up and plant plants underneath. And where normally the beds dry out, they've stayed really moist. So I would normally be chucking water on these, but you can see it's holding the moisture a lot better. So that's a win-win. Less watering we do, the better. All takes time. So let's do a vegetable harvest. So over there is my sheep wool store, and hiding in there is my potatoes, so hopefully they'll stay frost free. Right, I'll go and fetch a bag and we'll put it in the wheelbarrow. Isn't it nice and peaceful when you can't hear me? So the Java, and it was the potato fertiliser that was on this one. I normally try and do a comparison, but the material in here is rough and ready. It's out my compost bin. Potatoes do a great job with it, and it can go in that bay and then it can get sifted. Now I've noticed there's a few here that have probably been frosted. Look, worms are inside it. Won't know till you cut them open. Yes, I would imagine these have caught the frost. It'll all go in the compost bin. I'll put them on the floor. I bet the rats won't touch them. But we have had frost down to -6 here in the UK, which is unusual. So I may have left it too late to get them covered up. But now I've got that sheep's wool area. Again, mentioned earlier, the small potato, or the small seed potato grow along, which can be started anytime, depending where you live in the world. Some nice potatoes there. I've got more of them, so hopefully I'll be able to save at least 6 for seed. Right, we'll move on to the Jerusalem artichokes. I ought to be tidying this as I go, but nothing but bad weather. They're lovely. Cut those in half, one a day. That's all Mrs. K allows me. Because it can get a little bit noisy. It's a bit embarrassing in the office as well. You can't squeeze them out. I can't explain to people what they are. Jerusalem artichokes. But yes, Last year I just buried everything and let them grow, and they're just far too much. 3 like that is all I'm leaving in this bed. Honest. I promise. I promise. Honest, I promise. Oh dear. Look how much rain we've had, and it's still dry underneath. These must still be sucking up the moisture, but they're really clean. I'll pick the best out and the rest go in there. Municipal recycling for everybody else to buy in recycled compost. Cut all those bits off. Right, we'll move on to the carrots and parsnips. I got 2,000 litres of this compost, and I put it into these bags, and I thought, well, I may as well grow in it. I just want to check to make sure there's nothing else in here. Wasn't successful, but the root crops have done all right. And so let's get some meat off that. That's one I pulled out on the previous tour. Lovely compost material. Yeah, I think that's all of that. I'll move those round the other side. It's nice to get tidy, he says. Didn't tidy this up after the Christmas day. Hey, we found a couple of bags of fly tip compost. I'll just add that to this bed, I think. I'm just going to clear this up. Bit of a messy garden of me. Well, it wasn't as messy as I thought. Because there's all these carrots here. What's here? Oh, it's these baby parsnips. Some of them are okay, some of them aren't. But cleaned up, be alright. 1 or 2 good ones. I think I'll pick the best. Can't afford to waste stuff. And then there's some baby carrots here, he said. You get the drift, guys. I need to tidy this up this time. Ooh. Let's make a level playing field. A lot of soil in this bed because it's one of the new beds. Oh, my hands are cold now. I'll get them cleaned up. And of course, first bit of toilet brush action for 2026. This drum's full now. Perlite in it and all sorts, but the soil will sink to the bottom. We've had that much rain, but that certainly saves a bit of time at home. I think I'm going to give them another whiz and some fresh water. Microphone. Only got a wonder so far. Potatoes, parsnips, they look all right. Rats have had the some of the carrots, but we'll chop that off before Mrs. K sees it, and some of the carrot fly. Jerusalem artichokes, they're absolutely beautiful. Flower sprouts, Red Bull, Brussels sprouts, and some of the other green ones. But it's nice to have a harvest at this time of the year. And apologies for me keep forgetting to check my microphones on. Thumbs up or a thumbs down for the interaction. Please leave me a comment. What are you up to this time of the year? I'm busy at home as well as everywhere else. Work's getting busy as well. We've are the preferred contractor, so until the documents have been signed, my work's just sitting there. I can't do nothing with it, so I'm going to be way behind like a cow's tail. So never mind. But I do enjoy reading the comments, and I respond to all the comments. Happy gardening to you all. Till next time, my friends. Ta-ra for now. Don't forget the end screens where you'll see the plot 1 tour.